got pills in me, I'm
Scott,
good.
you're
Dude,
medicated. I don't know if you're caffeinated. You should be good.
I'm caffeinated. I'm gonna. I'm caffeinated, pillinated, pollinated,
Serenaded.
constipated.
Dude.
Whatever.
All the pateds. I love it, man.
Yes.
Good deal. Good deal. Josh, we almost had a catastrophe there, buddy. Like, did you see
Yeah.
me just in
You
mid-sentence
froze.
go black? It went dark.
Yeah. No. Like you froze. I'm like, I lost you.
I kind of think that's what the rapture would look like, where you're just having a conversation and poof, like,
Poof.
end game
Have
theory
you ever
right there.
have you ever seen those movies, like the Rapture movies?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. It's interesting. I mean, this is a whole conversation for probably another day because,
Or is it?
well, Christian cinema it's interesting because, especially since there are so many different, Christian sects and everything, um,
Sex?
interpretation sex, not
SEX?
no, SECTS.
Oh, I'm like, are you keeping this Christian? Okay. Sorry.
I think this episode is actually airing on Sunday, so
Timely.
I mean, yeah, very timely. But no, it's interesting because there are so many different sects and interpretations of scripture and Bible and whatever. The cinema, it's so polarizing because interpretations of things like the rapture are so wildly different. So if you, depending on what movie you see, like of the rapture, I think there's one with
Kirk Cameron?
Kirk Cameron. Yeah, that's
Standard issue.
pretty wild. And then there's like us, like LDS, where we're like, yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen that way, or I don't know. It's just it's interesting.
It's funny you say that. Last night, Marissa and I were at dinner for our 26th anniversary, right?
Congratulations.
We're on our marathon year. I love this. And we were talking. Yeah, we were talking back and forth. And about current events and happenings, and just staring 26 years of love into each other's eyes. And she was kind of commenting like about end of days, and it's kind of funny because like she's like, I grew up LDS, and I kind of always felt like it was right around the corner. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're telling me that you live your life as if he's coming tomorrow? And it was kind of a funny thing, Josh, because I've never looked at it that way. I probably never will. I think that it's going to get a heck of a lot worse before. And I'm like, you have to understand, this is all business as usual for this little ball of mud called Earth. And it was interesting. I said, why have we never talked about this? I said, yeah, some people, she's talking to a friend of hers who has not been planning for her retirement. And she's like, oh man, I just hope the second coming happens before that. And I'm like, I think you better start saving your money because there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of a funny thing. I'm like,
yeah,
what? I've never looked at it that way.
Yeah, it is interesting because I kind of grew up with that mentality, like, but never out of this realm of fear necessarily.
Fear, yeah.
It's just being prepared, right? It's being like a practical Boy Scout in a way. And so I've always grown that way. Not to get too religious, but hey, it's Sunday. We can just roll with this. But you look for the signs of the times, and yeah, I think the most prevalent thing that we've seen, and that we've even talked about either behind the mic or off the air, it's just how cold and callous people are getting,
right?
And toward our brothers and our sisters. And that's the most disheartening thing. And I think the most difficult part for me on that is like, man, it's going to get worse.
Yeah. And I think
it's just sad because
you're right.
Because it doesn't have to happen. We don't have to treat each other like crap. for the lack of a better term. Well, actually, there is
Absolutely.
a better term, but I don't want to censor this podcast.
I think as we all lose our jobs to AI, we'll have to start talking to each other because that's all we'll have, and maybe that might heal some wounds. Like
Yeah, that will put
it's
Jesus off for a few more
yeah,
decades.
absolutely, man. So we're gonna have to get back to the arts and those kind of things, but nonetheless, man, we
Yeah.
shouldn't doom and gloom ourselves. Welcome
No.
to the best darn podcast show you might have ever heard. This might be the one. This
Yeah,
podcast.
this could be it, and you know, go find another podcast if it is. I mean, we've peaked too early.
I dare you to compare. Yeah, there you go. It's like Jack Black's the best song in the world. That was really just a tribute because he couldn't remember the words to the greatest song in the world because he said it, impromptu.
Oh, I remember that.
So good, so good.
No, it's I was gonna tell you from the other day when we were recording.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when? Which city was you were talking? You were asking if there was like a North Jordan or whatever.
Yeah,
And then you were talking about Springville and how their
Art
motto
City.
is
Art City.
what it's just the Art City.
Springville, the Art City, which I think Park City might fight us one day for. But what do you think? Like,
Yeah.
you're recalling something that we said in episode 2?
Mhm.
Have you discovered your city's motto?
Yes, I actually got a mailer, because that's what people do these days in the
Listen, did
information
that
age.
just come out of nowhere? Like, did it just show up like as if you like attracted it to you? Like you weren't looking for it. It's like, well, there it is.
Yeah, no, yeah, the universe manifested this.
It does. Let me tell you why. Before you share
Yeah.
this with me, did you see the video I sent you after we got done recording the episode where I said that I could probably land a plane?
Yes.
I sent you a video of a guy that says, if you're ever in the situation where you have to land a 747, this is what you do. And I thought, oh man, now I really do believe I could land that sucker. The universe listens.
They do. Was it President Uchtdorf?
No, it was some random guy that said what to listen for and what to do.
Which, by the way, not to derail this, but welcome to the Best Darn Podcast. I actually have from my recent order on Temu. By the way, it's not Temu, it's Temu. Did you know that?
I didn't. I think I might have been saying it the other
like
way.
it does it. So if you're confused about how to pronounce Temu, just think it rhymes with Shamu.
Okay.
Anybody out there, useless information. But anyway, during my most recent Temu shopping spree, I got this birthday card, and I'm like, I'm gonna send this to President Uchtdorf.
No joke.
Let's see.
This is just a plain birthday card. Oh, I said that's a
feels
funny one.
Appropriate for President Uchtdorf.
Are you seriously you're going to send that? I love it.
Why not?
Look at you.
Why not? I mean, when I was a neighbor,
they're real people, they can receive mail.
Hey, when I was a neighbor with I guess now President Christofferson, D. Todd, he spoke in general conference where he quoted J. Golden Kimball, and he, if you know anything about J. Golden Kimball, early 1900s apostle, had a bit of a mouth, to say the least. Very just anecdotal, very funny. And President Christofferson quoted him in general conference, and he censored him because he said hell, I think, in the full quote. So, being who I am, I decided I'm going to call out President Christofferson on this. And so I wrote a note. I printed out the whole quote. I actually made it look really fancy, like a meme.
Right.
And then I printed it off, and I took it down to his house.
Hand delivered.
hand delivered.
Mm,
I didn't knock and wait because that would have been way too awkward. But I
right.
just wrote something to the effect of, "I really enjoyed your conference talk, but you misquoted Jay Golden Kimball,
Ah,
and I wanted to make sure you had the full quote." And then I left it on his doorstep.
I love it.
So yeah.
I love it.
But anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you that story other than I'm going to send this birthday card to President Uchtdorf.
And all of that was said so you could share with me the motto by which the town you live in goes
Yes.
by.
I was going to get back to that. I may have ADHD, but it doesn't mean that I don't reconnect dots that you think are lost.
It all comes back around. Yep.
It all does. It all does. That's the one thing I've always noticed, and I've read about with ADHD is how you can just pick up a conversation or topic like you're not missing a beat.
Nope.
And I love it.
Superpower.
I love it. It confuses everybody else except for people who have ADHD
I'm
and
tracking,
understand.
man. I'm tracking.
But anyway, City of South Jordan, their motto, and this is actually going to be the title of this episode because it's dumb.
Okay, I'm excited to hear this. We should do a lot. We should review
Okay.
some of these town models in Utah. Go ahead.
I know that. Okay, I'm putting that in my notebook of things that I want to do.
Okay.
And I think we should actually do that with with our friends from This Is a Place podcast.
We should. I think you research the motto. I want to research their summer festivities. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, because everybody has one.
We talked about the Mountain Man Rendezvous, and that still gives me like cold sweats at night. So we should see like how people celebrate their town. So you do the names, I'll do the.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Anyway,
right when you said that, though, like right when you said that, I just had like memory smell come up of like of rabbit pellets.
There you go, man.
You know,
See? Oh
like
man,
it's just reminds me of
it's
Boy
funny
Scouts.
how one word can bring up a smell, because when you said rabbit, I knew exactly what those things smell like. I've never owned a rabbit, but for some reason I've smelt rabbit pellets.
Oh man, I want to tell a story that will definitely derail this. So I'm going to leave that for another day because I have one of the most traumatic and hilarious stories about a rabbit that you'll ever. Maybe we'll need to put it on Patreon.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Childhood
which
stories.
we need to talk about eventually here. We'll get around to it here in one of these first episodes of the weeks. Anyway,
well, the big reveal.
This is so dumb. The motto is shaping what's next.
No joke. That's their motto?
Huh?
They're never just in the present. They're always kind of just leaning towards what's coming.
Which, I mean, I guess in a way it does kind of fit with what is going on here, especially with Daybreak. To be honest, I'm kind of surprised that we just haven't changed the name of South Jordan to Daybreak by now. Because that's all it is. I mean, even now, like with the Bees Ballpark, they're not referring to it just simply as Daybreak. It's downtown Daybreak.
Ooh, so man,
dang, yeah. Dude. I mean, and if you look at the picture, I don't know. I have the it's like ribbon cutting.
That is
ceremony.
A giant pair of scissors that man's holding. He better not run with those. That would take a few people out.
Which I wonder if they just keep that around City Hall. Like, can we rent that out if you're a citizen of South Jordan?
Dude, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Can I borrow those scissors?
Yeah. Like I have a project for church.
So listen,
but yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting, yeah.
Listeners, anyway. I need you to, like, it's all, you know, everyone hopes you guys know that Josh puts all these episodes now on YouTube so you can see like what we're talking about. But let me describe what that just was. The magazine beheld about 6 or 7 people, must be at a ribbon cutting of something, preparing for what comes next. And this man is holding the most giant pair of scissors I've ever seen, even bigger than normal. I'll bet you that guy's probably about, we'll give him 5 be 5'9", 5'10",
Yeah,
and if you were
yeah.
to put those scissors right next to you, it'd come up just a little bit, maybe above his waist. Those
They're
are
all
huge scissors.
they're all wooing in the picture too.
They are
Like
wooing.
hands up, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was I actually read through the whole pamphlet and it's actually pretty funny. I mean,
Nice.
I okay. I don't want to sound like I'm crapping on South Jordan because I love South Jordan. I love where we talked about this in previous episode. Like
Mhm.
I love where I live. But it's just I think every city kind of falls into this trap where they just make
Mhm.
life sound so remarkably awesome and you're just trying to sell, the city and everything.
Yeah,
And so, um,
absolutely.
but it is quite, the, uh, the pamphlet, lots of testimonials from like the council, the
Hmm.
city council members, one in which is my brother-in-law's aunt.
Wow.
And, yeah, that's another story for another day. But, um, seriously, I don't want to derail this whole episode. But uh yeah, so anyway, shaping
Mm.
what's next. Come to South Jordan.
Shaping what's next. I heard a saying that we used to hear quite frequently back in the early 2000s, and that was the term what is it? Water cooler gossip. And it got me
Mm-hmm.
thinking a little bit like, do we still do that? Like, are we at a point now in life where we don't live as much at the office as we might at home? Or is this still like everyone carries around these big, large canisters of liquid wherever they go? How often are they gathering now at the water cooler because they can carry around a reservoir right at their mercy? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I was telling my kids there was a time when like that's where everyone got their gossip was like, and it was like as everyone's going to fill up their little water cup after working, for 6 hours straight, they needed a refreshment, and it got me thinking like, is office culture, is it alive or is it dead? Because when's the last time you read a Delbert comic or a Far Side comic? Those seem to be like standard issue things in every office. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the highlight of your day was tearing off that page of the Far Side to find something else that's like, oh, I can totally relate to that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
is office
I'm
culture, is it dead? Because I don't you don't hear much about it anymore. Like, is it like gone way of the dodo?
um I think a lot of I mean it's shifted, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um like my wife, she works mostly like 90% remote
Mm-hmm.
and that changes the dynamic, right? Because
Right.
you're not decorating your cubicle necessarily or
Mm-hmm.
um you know cutting out your comics and um sitting around the water cooler, uh, but you are you know DMing or IMing or teamsing whatever it is, your coworkers quite a bit, so
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if I would say it's dead, but it's definitely changed, especially after the pandemic.
Read an article about millennials and I guess the next generation, the Zennials that are coming up, and they're talking about how like there was a girl that they were interviewing that turned down a $175,000 job here, job a year, whatever, salary, 106,
Mhm.
whatever. She turned that down for a $90,000 a year salary because the 90, said that she could stay home and work from home, but the other one, the 125, required her to come in, and she chose to go less to stay home. And people were giving her lots of flack on that. And I'm thinking, I think we're seeing a shift in the way that people are approaching this kind of stuff because A, would they rather,
Mhm.
have a quality of life that's not revolving around work? Or are they still shooting for that American dream that seems to get further and further out of reach every year? Um, what are your thoughts, man? Like, how do you wrap
Yeah.
your head around that?
I I see that shift because and it's quite interesting because when I was working at the University of Utah, that's where I was working when the pandemic happened. I
Mhm.
mean, it was literally overnight that we started working remote. And I remember when we first made that shift, it was only expected to be a 2-week process. And it ended up being just, I didn't get back into the office until like 6 or 8 months later,
It's
I
like Gilligan's
believe.
Island. Mhm.
Yeah. And so even with that, then we were coming back for about a year, only working in the office twice a week. And so it it really did mess with uh, just the rhythm.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily complaining about coming in. I like the hybrid, I think, a lot more, but at the same time, now that I'm 5 minutes away from work, I actually prefer to go into the office.
Mm.
I have my own office, which helps a lot. Um, and I guess Marianne's probably she knows where I'm going with this right now. Uh, I, I like working remote, but it is hard when it's both of us home at the same time.
I'll bet. I'll bet.
And I love her. I love Marianne, but it's like and you can understand this with ADHD. If I'm focusing, don't disrupt me. Like, because it will take me about 5 or 10 minutes, or probably half the day, to get back into that rhythm or that thought process, right?
Mhm.
And she
Yeah.
doesn't fully understand that, which I will give her a lot of grace for. Um, but it's hard because there's more distractions. I mean, even the cat, right?
For
Um,
sure.
and so that's hard for me. I would much prefer to just go into the office, um, because it's 5 minutes away. And really, it's like I my commute. I don't have a commute, I would say.
Dude, see,
Uh,
and that's the crazy thing about what I've noticed, like me. Marissa sent me this video the other day, and it was about this therapist. And she says, one thing I didn't anticipate about being a therapist was that my social life would turn that used to be a very extrovert type experience would slowly turn to put me into the capacity of being an introvert. Um,
mhm,
and the interesting thing was I've always like someone comes over on the weekend, they knock on the door, I run and hide. And it's the funniest thing. And I'm like, why am I doing that? Like, why am I avoiding phone calls and stuff? And the way that she described it was when you're having very deep, emotional, thought provoking conversations for, 8 to 12 hours a day,
mhm,
the last thing you want to do is like have those outside of work. So I
mhm,
got thinking, that sucks because that means like I'm missing out on good conversations, good experiences. But and it made me laugh because I'm like, wait, I do that. So I've had to become very mindful about like, all right, you're not on the clock here. You don't have to solve problems. You don't have to, listen so fully. You can kind of be present. And it's such an interesting thing. The premise being that like, yeah, working at home means you've got to like stay focused. Um, when I'm off of work, I have to stay focused. It's one of those things where it's like, all right, the mental fatigue kicks in, I think, pretty quick.
mhm.
When you said that though about like Marianne like coming in and asking you a question while you're working and stuff, it's like Ralphie from the Christmas Story when he's waiting in line for Santa, and the witch comes over and she's like, "What do you want, little boy?" And he's like, "Don't bother me. I'm thinking." That's my go-to response whenever Marissa interrupts. I'm like, "Don't bother me. I'm thinking." I wonder if she
No,
thinks I'm
that
like Socrates or Plato that I'm always thinking.
yeah, I'm kind of the same way. That's my kind of almost go-to response as well. Like,
Hmm.
just the other day, I can't remember what she was asking, but I was up here on the computer, and I was working on some graphics. I can't remember what I was doing, primary stuff, I think. And she's like, "Here, come here." And I hate when that happens, especially when you physically have to move me somewhere because it's game over, man.
Yeah, man.
And so she she had me come into the other room so that she could show me that I left my socks on the floor. And
Hmm.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll pick them
She
up.
I can see her hey, come here, motioning you to come over, like standing in the
Mm-hmm.
doorway of your room and then pointing out, what's this? What's going on here? Yeah. I love it,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
That's funny.
Or if I have lint that somehow came off of my sock that's
Mhm.
on the floor. And I'm like, all right, that's gonna take me another 45 minutes to get back to what I was
Yeah.
doing.
Marianne, keep doing it. It's gonna keep him on his toes. I love it.
I love you,
That
honey.
happens. That happens a
Mm-hmm.
ton.
Yeah.
Not shifting gears, but not shifting gears. I'm curious. I have another question for you. The other day, I can't remember where I was. I think it was at UVU somewhere, and I saw like something that I don't know if we play as much as we used to. When's the last time you shot a game of pool? Like racked up the balls
Mm.
and shot pool? Because um, A, I suck at that game.
Mm-hmm.
But B, like that is a bizarre pastime when you think about it. Like, what do you do that? Do you throw darts? Do you ever shoot pool? Do you ever like do some of
Have.
those old bar games that you know?
Um, I actually really enjoyed playing darts.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't have a dartboard anymore. Um, like it's one of those things. Honestly, like I feel like yeah, like you said, they're bar games, right? I I, th-
Hmm.
I think it's one of those things that you kind of have to do if you're a drinker,
Yeah. Absolutely.
because it doesn't require you to necessarily be sober, I guess.
And
But
think about it, a bunch of drunk guys out there throwing pointy things.
hmm
There was one time back in Blues, wild and crazy days, where we might have been doing just that. I won't confirm or deny that, but I was
hmm
probably about 15, 16 years old, and my buddy had a dartboard downstairs in his little
hmm
like family room and stuff. And I now I understand how stupid this decision was for whoever placed the phone right next to the dartboard
hmm
because one of my friends was on the phone talking to somebody, and the cord only reached so far, and we were throwing darts, and my other buddy he threw this dart and went right in my friend's neck, like right
Hmm.
into his neck,
Hmm.
and we're all just standing there watching it, and then he gets this terrified look on his face, like what is that? And he grabs his neck and there's this dart hanging out of it, and it's like the guy from Home Alone when he screamed when the spider's on him. That's what it sounded like. He freaked out, pulled it out, a little bit of blood, not bad, but I'll never forget that instant stop of a dart going into his neck. Like it was the funniest, now like scariest thing I've ever seen. It was funny, let's be honest. Who put your phone next to a dartboard?
Well, exactly. Also, I kind of want to know now. Like, I want to ask an ER nurse,
Mm,
like, how many like accidents they get from like darts. Because
darts or yeah.
yeah, or
Uh-huh.
anything that's related to a drinking game,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but really, to be honest with you, like I can't think of really the last time I played pool.
When's the last time you went bowling? Like full on bowling?
Um, Full on bowling was probably about through 4. I don't think we've gone since we've been married.
Mhm.
Actually, I think it was in Vegas about 4 years ago.
Gotcha. See, so it's been a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty
Nice.
sure that I haven't gone since Marianne and I have been married.
That's
Um,
awesome.
but
So
I
funny.
actually I enjoy bowling though. Like I'm not good at it necessarily. Actually, no, because usually when you go bowling, you're gonna play like 3 games, right?
Mhm.
Like 2 or 3 games. I'm fire when it comes to like the first game, and by fire I mean I will score in triple digits, but then it
Right.
progressively gets worse
Right.
because like my form is just horrible anyway. And so like gutter ball after gutter ball by game 3.
It's so
So,
funny. Yeah, man. I don't do that
so
as much.
but I enjoy it because the one in Vegas that I went to um I just remember it was like way too nice, right? Because
Was
usually
it
when you go
expensive?
into Yeah. I mean, of course, it was in a casino, but
Mm-hmm.
it didn't smell like smoke.
Which is weird because
And
even like the ones that don't have
yeah,
cigarette smoking in them in Utah still smell like smoke. That's weird.
yeah, yeah. Somehow and I love that smell because again,
Yes,
it's
you
that
do.
association with, the rest of the casino floor smells like smoke, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and everything. So there's that nostalgia, but yeah, like it was just it was interesting. It felt
I
too
think I think
clean.
times were simpler back in the day. Remember, like there used to be like bowling leagues, like your father's got bowling tonight. So like they do. I don't know if we do that stuff anymore. Like they call those the third place, right? The third places are
Mhm.
like you got home first, work second, and the third places, those are like the bowling alleys, the groups, things you go
Mhm.
to, and since the pandemic, that stuff has completely fallen off the face of the earth and is slowly kind of dragging itself back. But like, yeah, like you don't hear that very often anymore, unless we're just so
Um,
far out of the loop that we don't know that there's this thriving bowling community we're not aware of.
well, so I have a coworker that actually does bowl. Like she and her
Well, thanks
husband
for pulling
still
the rug
go.
out of everything I just said.
But that's honestly
Just
though, I
kidding.
feel like that's kind of an anomaly, whatever.
Anomaly,
Minor
anomaly,
anomaly. Yeah,
an
I know.
anomaly. Yeah,
I feel
monopoly.
like monopoly. It's a monopoly.
It's a
Well, actually,
philosophy.
yeah. I feel like Nemo over here. Uh,
Geography. Sorry, stop.
see, this is almost as bad as my wife wanting me to pick up
It
my
is.
socks, right?
It is. It is. Is she a competitive bowler though? This coworker of yours?
Yeah, yeah, both of them, probably more so her husband, but they do it as a couple. My
Mm-hmm.
mother-in-law actually used to be in a competitive bowling league,
Mm.
and I think she still has her own bowling ball and everything. I can't remember what she named it.
Man, you've got to have some skill to get your own ball. Like,
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, I remember like hearing this joke that I think every bowler just still giggles when they hear it, and especially when they're talking to somebody who doesn't know much about the game. When they say that they have bowled a 301 before,
Mhm.
and everyone like I guess that's the highest score you can achieve is 300. And so, how did you get that one extra point? And they just said, I got 301, 301. And it meant that they got $300, 300 points and then won the game. Like they won the game. That's not funny. Like who made that joke up? That's not a funny joke. I guess unless you're in the realm or hemisphere of bowling. You didn't even crack a
Yeah.
smile when I said that. So
No, I'm like, I don't even understand it because I don't even think I've gotten into the 200s when
you
I've
and I are
bowled.
going to do a dad joke episode where we just throw dad jokes at each other and see which ones land. Like
Gosh.
I'm taking quite a few down as I'm hearing some of these, and some of them are good. Some of them aren't so good.
See, yeah, a lot of people will memorize dad jokes and have them in their repertoire.
Who's that
I
guy? Like who's that
I
guy?
don't
Who's that guy that has one ready to go? Because that would be awesome.
Spencer,
Does Spencer do that? He can do that.
Spencer.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure. For me, it's all. I mean, it, I wouldn't call it dad jokes necessarily. I would definitely call it more dad humor with what I kind of have. And it's just whenever around kids, whether it's nieces and nephews or kids at primary, like,
Yeah.
the dad humor just kind of comes out. And I don't even know where this is coming from. I'm like, I don't have kids, I have cats, right? Like, and jokes with cats just don't land.
Are you a good joke teller? Because I think guys with
Mm,
ADHD probably aren't the best joke tellers. Do you want to hear
no,
the one that I
no.
thought was super funny that I heard? And when I presented it to a very specific group of people, they didn't even crack a smile. So I'll tell you this real quick. Circa 2005, I'm working at a youth treatment center in Provo. My job
Mhm,
was to take kids to the doctors, drive them to the airports. I mean, courier, just transporting things. And I heard this joke and it was pretty good, right? And so as soon as I heard this joke, I was walking over to the nurse's station to pick up paperwork to take a kid to the doctor, and I saw all of these nurses. Every one of them that worked there for the first time I've ever seen were all gathered in one place. And so
Mhm.
as I was getting the paperwork, I got ADHD. I jumped in. I'm like, hey, you guys want to hear a joke? And they all kind of turned their heads and they were looking at me. I'm like, okay. Drunk guy comes out of a bar and a nun's walking down the street. And when he sees the nun walking down the street, he postures. And when she gets there, he punches her right in the face, just punches her right in the face. And she stumbled back, and then he stepped in and gave her an uppercut right to the ribs. And they're all looking at me, and I'm like, and then he did a sweep kick and knocked her right off her feet and leaned over to her and said, "You're not so tough tonight, are you, Batman?" And no one laughed, not one. And I'm like,
The worst.
5 minutes ago when I heard this, it was the funniest thing I'd ever heard. I go
Mhm.
back to get the kid. I come back, and when I get back, my boss is like, "The nurses would like you to come over and take a drug test." And I'm like, "What?" Did my joke land so hard on them they think I'm on drugs? So I went over and did a drug test. It was funny. Apparently, there were some meds missing, and that's why all the nurses were there because they were like, "Who tracked it? Who did that?" I went over there and told the joke of the century, and apparently they're like, "That's our culprit. That guy must have stole our meds." No, I did not steal your meds. I was 100% sober. The problem being that joke sucked, or maybe it was a tough crowd.
Yeah, it's interesting because I just don't start off like church talks
Mm-hmm.
with jokes anymore, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's because I don't know, as
Time and place.
being new, yeah, time and place, but then also I feel like if people don't understand your humor, um they're less likely to laugh, right? Like
Mhm.
it either has to be like really outrageously funny or, from left field, or, just don't do it because,
You you the guy that gives the courtesy laugh even if it's a bomb?
uh, yeah, it depends on the joke. It depends on the joke. I will never laugh at I tried to avoid the bishop's call when he called to ask me, I'm like, I
Mhm.
don't even go there with my
Yeah.
jokes, right?
It's funny
Um,
when they think that's a unique joke. It's been said 66 trillion times. Yeah.
yeah. And so anyway, it's interesting though because I am speaking in church at the end of the month,
Mm.
and so I'm like, yep, no opening joke.
Dude, that's funny. Yeah. No, I
So,
think it's true. You got time and place. When you have a captive audience, you think now's my chance. I
hmm
don't think you're going straight to Comedy Network with a deal if you're cracking jokes up there. It's like,
no, it has to has to be humor that everybody else understands. I will say, when we first moved into the ward, we did the obligatory have the new couple, come and speak. And Marianne spoke first, and then I followed up, and I did talk about how we both, got married after age 40, and I thought it was a killer joke because I just said, a lot of people would have a hard time being single for 40 years, and it was a lot of wandering in the wilderness. But I said, hey, the Lord has a great track record with things that take 40 years in the making, getting the Israelites out of the desert and from Egypt, building the Salt Lake Temple, and us.
man.
Nobody. And I'm like, okay, it's a tough crowd. So
Yeah,
I'm
dude,
like,
because
I'll
they've all
just
been married for 40 years. They're like, kill me
like,
now. Yeah,
yeah,
I hear
right.
you,
Yeah.
dude. Uh-huh. Yeah,
So
man.
anyway, it's again, I think if they knew me a little bit more, it would have probably landed better because I've told that joke, at family reunions, and they all laugh, right? So,
So you know that I've been on this movie kick lately, and I've been watching these old obscure movies. And last night I saw this movie. It's called The Time Traveler. And
oh, is that the one? I think I've seen that one.
if you've seen this one, I'm going to like have a whole nother level of respect for you. What do you remember of this movie, if it is the
Is
same
it
one?
is it where he's like in his lab or whatever, and he's in the
Oh my
time
gosh.
machine, and it's like it doesn't have like a lever or whatever, and then it just
Okay,
keeps going
no,
and
you were
going and
close.
going.
You were so close. You were on the right track with Lab. That's a different. That's the time machine. This is the time
Oh,
traveler. Okay,
oh,
and there's got to be a huge difference. Let me send to you right now via text message.
mm-hmm.
For some reason, all these '60s movies I'm watching, there's always robots in them. Like there must have been some kind of robot craze in the '60s that just made people lose their minds because this again had robots. So the
The
premise of this,
Jetsons, the Jetsons. Let's
yeah,
call it
absolutely,
as it is. The Jetsons are the trendsetters, and then everybody just it's the future.
dude. So here they are, the very opening scene of the movie. They're in this lab and they're trying to like project this camera like thing into the future. And so this, I guess like a janitor comes in. He's like, "Be careful! Last time you guys did this, you messed up our power grid." And, and it's 1960s. Everyone's decked out in 1960s outfits. It's all the blinking lights and switches that they're pushing and turning and doing nothing. And then
Mm-hmm.
it disappears, and they're like 50,000, 75,000, like all these years in the future, right? Like I don't know what they meant by that. Anyway, they turn on the camera that's on this machine they sent out into the future. The maintenance guy walks over. He's like, "This isn't a picture. This is a 3D picture." And he walks through it. Somehow it opened a portal. Like no explanation, but like it opened a portal. So they all
Is
run
this
through this
Quantum
portal.
Leap?
Yeah. They all run through this portal. Then these guys that were bald, dressed in like brown garbage bag things, started chasing him. And then their portal dissolved and broke. So they can't go back. So now they're stuck in the future. They walk into this cave to hide from these guys that are chasing them. And
Mm-hmm.
this, Josh, this is the face of the robot that kind of cornered them, if you will. And I'm telling you, their budget, it must have been astronomically high. There we go. It's a little video, but as you're telling this, I want to tell you this. The reason why I'm telling you this whole story.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be kind of a serious little sci-fi show, but the problem
Mm-hmm.
was they had to throw in some comedy, and so this guy who the janitor bumps into this future lady. They find out they're in the year 2071. And the whole world has been
Okay.
obliterated by apparently nuclear war, obviously. And so maybe that is because of our current administration. I don't know, but the Earth has found itself in peril. They got to get off the planet. So they make these robots to help serve them as they're finding their new planet.
Oh,
These robots. Did you get my video? Watch my video. I just
there it is.
texted it to
Okay.
you.
Okay.
These
It just came
robots, they
through.
look like cone heads from like the 70s or 60s or so. When was it? 70s, Dan Aykroyd cone heads. Like, dumbest thing. One of the jobs is a lady who puts eyeballs in the robot.
Huh?
This guy's kind of like swooning over her and breaks the third wall when he looks into the camera. He's holding a tray of eyes. He looks at the camera and says, "I kid you not, like, and here I thought I only had eyes for her," but he's holding a tray of
Oh.
eyes to put in the robots. And I'm like, that is the
Oh.
worst comedy
Oh.
I've ever seen. See the
Those
robots?
robots.
They're
Oh my
horrible.
gosh.
Think of a cone head with like
It's just
weird eyes and a
then
very
a screen
round
for a
mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, what?
I'm sorry, but I mean,
It's crazy.
that's
We gotta
horrible.
we'll post the picture of this in our socials, you guys. You can see what we're talking about. Like,
I think we should just take the video that you sent me and we should put that on our socials. Like we
dude,
should just play the reaction because that's horrible.
it's bad. But like, I'm thinking, isn't it funny how all these movies, these sci-fi movies, they have to have robots in them? What was our infatuation with robots?
Well, I think a lot with the 1960s, yeah, there seemed to be this fascination with like the year 2000, right? It was 40
Mm-hmm.
years away or whatever, and technology was kind of ramping up even more so. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think there was that fascination. I know that also was kind of a thing in the 1930s and 40s as well,
Mm.
with imagining what the year 2000 would look like. And there
Yeah.
probably was maybe throughout the whole century as well, because you're going from the the thousands to the 2000s or whatever. So I
Exactly.
don't know, but still, the fascination with robots, like I don't know, other than it's kind of always been a symbol of like what the
Yeah.
future is supposed to look like. I don't know.
Yeah. So, dude, there's I love it too because these movies, they're not very long, but like, for a good probably 7 to 8 minutes of screen time was that janitor guy trying to get to know this lady who builds the robots to put the eyes in their sockets. And she's like, "Meet me in the rec room and we'll get to know each other." And he goes there and he's standing next to her as she's playing this piano thing that's like making music.
Hmm.
It's got 2 rows of keys, like little like rectangle keys, and they're rainbow colored. And she's just waving her hands over it, like rocking back and forth like Stevie Wonder. And above them is a screen that is obviously like some of that spandex, like fabric with guys holding flashlights with like colored, wheels on them, like pushing through. So it looks like there's like, something popping out. A good 7 to 8 minutes of screen time is him just standing there watching her play this. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, there's a good 12-minute
Hey,
like segment of them just running away from the people that were chasing them when they went through the portal. It was so funny how they made movies back then. Like they wanted you to see everything they were doing to get to where they were going, and it took forever. Does that
where?
make sense?
Yes, but where are you watching these? Are you just
Dude,
YouTube or whatever?
apparently my algorithm on Prime, like Amazon Prime, has completely shifted to this kind of stuff because I watched a few B movies and now it's like, you must love these. And I do. They're the funniest thing. The dialogue is weird. Like the men are always like completely sexist and like mean. And it's weird, dude. Like it's the funniest thing. You got to
I
watch some
wonder
of
if
these.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to now because you've definitely piqued my interest. I wonder if there are full movies, like 60s movies on YouTube, because I'm half okay, good. Because I know that it's a mad, 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 mad world
Hmm.
is on YouTube for free, which is
Yeah.
one of my favorite movies, by the way.
Yeah.
And kind of that same era. I think we should make a playlist on our YouTube channel of these just ridiculous movies. So if you're
Here,
ever bored or whatever, you can just go to
I
the
know
Best Darn
this. I
Podcast
want you to
Show
I want you
YouTube
to
channel.
Josh, I want you to Google right now. I want you to Google Dream Child. Okay. The Dream Child. I'm not sure how none of us caught this. And you should have, Josh, because it's a Jim Henson production.
Oh, I
Um,
think I know what you're talking about.
I about passed out when I saw this because the
The
puppets
Dream
that they
Child,
made,
right?
dude,
Oh,
it's
is it A Nightmare on Elm Street? Is
no,
it
it's
that
not.
one?
No, 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 no. The Dream Child, 1985, is about it is about the guy who wrote Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, Dream Child, all one
Dream Child.
word. If it's
Yeah.
two words, then it will send you to the other one.
Freddy Krueger. So the premise is the Alice, who is the character of Alice in Wonderland. The girl that book was written
Oh,
about comes to
yes.
New York and has these weird out of body experiences because she's about ready to die, and she keeps crossing over from reality to the dream world. The puppets that Jim Henson created for this are freaking nightmare fuel, and I'm scared. I'm blown away. Like another one.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
movie's boring as crap, but like, and it takes a good almost hour before you see the first like puppet. There's one at the very beginning, but then it gets dark real quick. It's weird. How did we never hear about this? Have you
Well,
seen
I
this?
I've I have not seen it, but I do remember watching a couple. I've seen a few Jim Henson, documentaries and stuff like that, and they talk about this
Dude.
because it was essentially a bomb,
Well,
and
yeah, dude.
rightfully so.
It sucked. The movie sucked. It's about she's going to New York. Alice is going to New York, um, to get an honorary degree from Columbia University. And all the reporters catch her because they want to do a story on the real Alice. She doesn't want to be known by that. She's traveling with this girl who's probably 15, and this reporter's like really doing the full court press on her so that he can get to her. When we're talking borderline Epstein stuff, and I'm like, this isn't aging well. And when she goes over to the dream world, I'm going to send you another video real quick of what the Mad Hatter and the rabbit look like, because it almost made me puke when I saw them. Like,
No,
look at
I've seen it.
it's freaking nuts, man. And I'm like, Jim
And
Henson, what are you
well,
doing?
the interesting thing, and I'm sure that this is related in some regard, right? Because it seems like you always see this with like the CGI movies or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like with Pixar, where they come out with what is A Bug's Life, and then DreamWorks comes out with Ants, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was that same year, and I had to just look this up, but it was that same year that Return to Oz came out.
Oh,
And
jeez.
it's
Ooh.
kind of that same feeling, because I remember
Yes.
watching that as a kid, and
Terrifying.
it's a Disney production, right? Like,
Yes.
talk about missing the mark of your audiences with Jim Henson and Disney, because Return to Oz, I remember hating it. Like
Mm-hmm.
just feeling that that darkness. And I swear the
The
1980s.
Wheelers? Are you kidding me? Like, how terrifying were the
Oh
Wheelers?
yeah.
Remember those things? And that
Oh
lady who had
yeah.
all the heads? What the crap? Like, yeah.
It just so kind of, yeah, same vein again. Also a big bomb. The budget was
Mm-hmm.
28 million and it only made just over 11 million.
Would
So
love to know. Is there a Rotten Tomato score on that? I don't know if there is. So listen, I've been planning out this game. I've heard this game on other shows, and so we're not unique. We're absolutely stealing this. But like, and this is what I want Kenny to be a part of. We're
mhm.
going to pull movies, and you guys are going to guess if they're rotten or fresh by how many points. So you got to know some of your movies. So for you, if you'll see in the future. But is there a Rotten
Yes.
Tomato score for this?
Of course. 59%
That's
tomato meter.
generous. That's generous. Does it give you
But
the Publix?
the
Like,
popcorn meter is 71%.
people like this? There's no way they like
I
this.
think there is some nostalgia with this. Plus there is Michael Jackson's in it, I believe. Isn't he?
What are we talking about? You talking about Dream Child? Or you talking about Return to
No,
Oz?
I'm talking about Return to Oz. Are you
Okay,
talking
that
about
makes
Dream?
more
You want me
sense.
to Okay, you want me to do
Return to Oz, I can see people liking it now just because it was like so freaking weird that people went back and like become a cult classic kind of thing now, right? But what is the Dream
Mhm.
Child? Like, I'm guessing if there's a score on that one, I'm guessing like the tomato meter is probably 50, 59, and I'll bet you the popcorn meter is probably at like 25.
Can't be right. Is
If
that
it's
the
good,
right
I'm gonna
one?
die. I'd make a horrible movie critic.
Is that Let's see. Let's make sure that I got the right year. Nah, 1985.
1985. Yeah.
So the tomato meter
Mm-hmm.
is 100%.
There is no way. That means that one person probably like
There's 13
review.
reviews, but then the popcorn meter is 78%.
That's still too high. Like, it is. It's boring as crap and terrifying at best. So yeah. Anyway, I know we do have a guest coming in to talk about such things, and I'm very excited to have him come chat. I've got lots of questions for
Yeah,
him.
audience. It's interesting because they give critic reviews like Robert Ebert. Ebert.
Mm-hmm.
Dream Child is an ambitious movie that tries to do a lot of things and does most of them surprisingly well. He gave a 3
Okay.
out of 4.
I can see them for what it is, but like, it's not that great. Like, it was interesting. The premise was interesting. I mean, the girl who was Alice, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, coming
Mhm.
over here to America, and the woman hates America. Like, she trashes us a lot. It's kind of funny. Not 1930s ish, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, everyone wants to interview her. She's here to get an honorary like degree, which is kind of weird. Why would any college give someone an honorary degree? Can you use that? Like, I have a degree in in socioeconomics, when you just maybe did something to get that. I don't know. but the whole premise is her needing to be interviewed so that people can have nostalgia, and she keeps slipping between here and the dream world because she's old. It's weird. It's very strange.
Yeah, the Muppet scenes may strike modern audiences as a bit odd, but they add more charm and realism than CG could.
Well, dude,
Missed the
that's
mark
because
there, dude.
they're Muppets, and I can see that.
Hmm.
Anywho, I know
I don't know.
we
That's it. That's interesting.
we got a
That's
hard
a
out.
yeah, we do. So anyway, yeah, come back tomorrow. We have a few more days of this whole week, this launch week of the Best Darn podcast show. So
Absolutely, absolutely, and I'm loving the videos. So guys, subscribe. Jump on there,
yeah,
subscribe, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, review this podcast, give us a thumbs up, thumbs a thumb sideways, whatever. It helps get it out there a little bit further,
yeah,
so people can enjoy the Best Darn podcast show out there, right?
yeah. We need an outro song and an intro song. We'll get to that eventually.
Well, yeah. Until then, we bid you adieu.